Hello, good day to you. Sandy's talking really uncut version, and we're back on this subject again. Electric, well, not only electric but also gas as well. This is about the utilities, yay! And basically carrying on with the idea that this is all fraudulent. And as you know, any subject that we talk about in the system, and we all know the system is fraudulent and it's corrupt and it's not real, but we can always remember the idea: follow the money, and you'll know exactly the reason for anything. It doesn't matter what it is, it doesn't matter the subject. You know, you can talk about anything in the last 3 years, whatever, including this, the utilities. Follow the money. Now, I saw this video, I thought, wow, this is an eye-opener. And of course, it's just part of it. It's just part of the research. Do your own research. Find out. Now, this guy has done some research into who owns and has vested interest in the national grid. Yes, you remember the national grid is the organisation that's funded by the government to generate and supply the power. Yeah, so it's not the utilities. The utilities, OVO, British Gas, Octopus, they supply nothing except the bill, right? And they are fraudulent. Well, don't get me started on that. But the national grid, now, this is very, very interesting. I'm going to let you watch it, and I'll come back in a moment.
Continuing with the House of Frauds Register of Interests, we're going to check a few more things here. First of all, we're going to look for the national grid. Who has a financial interest in the national grid? And we've got 17 of these frauds that have interest in the national grid. Now we're going to do a few general terms like oil and energy to see the total number when just them broad terms are searched. So we'll do oil, and we've got 84 frauds that have interests in oil. And now we'll check energy, and we'll see how many have interests in energy. 155. I mean, some of these people don't even show their face. So now let's have a little look at where we actually get our oil from, or what companies we get our oil from. So our main supplier of crude oil and natural gas is Norway, followed second by the United States. So let's have a look at some of the businesses over there. So we've got Equinor, the biggest one in Norway. We've got Chevron in the US, and we've got ExxonMobil in the US as well. So let's put them in here and let's see who has interest in those companies. So we'll start with the Norway Equinor, and we can see 2 people have a registered interest within Equinor. Now we'll check the US ones, and we can see 3 people have an interest in Chevron. Again, not showing their face. And now when we check Exxon, we can see another 3 people have an interest in Exxon. Now you're probably wondering the same as I was, why are we getting all of our oil from Norway and the United States? So here's the oil production by country. You can see the United States is top, and that kind of makes sense. However, Norway is 13th on the list. Let's dig a little deeper. So now we'll check the largest oil reserves. So as of 2022, Venezuela is the top, and we have Iran coming in 3rd. And let's just make note of Russia as well in the top 10. Because Russia is 3rd on the production list. So why are we not getting our oil from these countries, and Iran is 7th? Why are we not using these 3 countries? They have the most oil. We could get it at a better price, no? But we can't really buy that much oil from Russia because of the EU and US sanctions placed against them. Can't really get it from Venezuela because of the sanctions against them. All so they can punish their government because most of their oil is state-owned. And now, good old Biden can't string a sentence together, but he's eased the sanctions a little bit. So maybe we could get a little bit from Venezuela. We can't get it from Iran because, again, those are being sanctioned because apparently the money they make from that goes towards funding Hamas. And this is obvious why we can't get it from Russia, because of what's happened in Ukraine. So you're thinking, who's buying all the oil that these top ones are producing? Let's have a look. Who's buying the Venezuelan oil? China. Who's buying Iran's oil? China. And who's buying Russian oil? China. And they're not just buying it, they're buying this all at discounted prices, because these countries have so much of it that they can't move to the west. They have to sell it cheap to the east. So who's really being punished here? Is it these countries that have the sanctions on that are still selling oil? Are they being punished? Maybe a little bit. Or is it us? Or is it the people of the EU and the US that are paying these mad prices for their oil? Who's really being punished? The people or these governments? I don't think it's the governments. I think it's us.
Comment down below. Right, so let's have a look.